listening to whoa.
Episode 200 something. Here we come.
You're listening to A Scary State, and this week we're talking about crimes on the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lauren,
Yes, Kenzie.
let's get scary.
Do you have any fun 4th of July plans?
No.
You can come over if you want.
Yeah.
We are going to the baseball game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's at like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
But that's okay. And then we're just coming back here and hanging out.
Okay.
So if you want to just come hang.
Yeah, I would.
Oh, yeah, for your dog sitting.
Yeah. And so I really don't want to drive out here twice. I feel like I've driven out here so many times.
What if you drive out here?
No.
You didn't even let me finish.
And just stay?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm already going to be a week out my bed.
That's true.
So
Whatever then,
I'm gonna spend
fine.
some quality time with her before I go.
Valid.
You know, I feel like I'm not doing much laying these days, as I'm currently laying down.
Yeah, on a pillow, wrapped up in a blanket.
It's not in my bed, though.
I'm doing extra laying these days.
Yeah,
I've been so sleepy.
me too.
And it's been so hot outside that I don't even want to go outside.
Right?
So it's like, do I want to walk out in the heat and die?
Right.
Or do I want to lay in my nice, cool bed and watch Netflix?
Right. Like, I'm like, this is too hot to go to the pool.
It is. And we still haven't gone and gotten our pool passes yet.
We gotta do that.
I know. And I know how to do it. And I know where to go. It's just the process.
Where do you go?
Maybe I don't know. There's like a main community center, I guess. And that's where we go.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that? I don't know where it is.
Community center?
Maybe.
Probably.
That's where I'll go then.
That's where I learned how to swim.
Aw,
Yeah.
look at you.
Mhm. My dad and I used to always go to Lito's Pizza. I'm thinking, I don't know if it's there still.
I don't know. Oh, yes.
Because you probably voted there too.
No. I voted at different schools.
Really?
Mhm.
That's crazy because that's where my dad voted and you guys lived closer to it than he did.
My most recent one, I voted at the high school.
I wonder if it's changed.
It must have because that's where I voted. Yeah, high schools are very convenient.
So is a community center.
I feel like that's what it would be used for, is voting. Either way.
Either way.
Just know we vote and everyone else should too.
Yeah, you're going to have to take out half of that or else someone's going to be able to find us.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to take out all the parts where you said it'll just be, yeah, go to the community center. I can
beep.
I was just going to say I can try out the beeping function.
I saw that.
Oh, that'll be fun, actually.
Funny. and it's not because I'm cursing, because like those won't be bleeped.
Oh, those will never be bleeped.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh man, but yeah, no, I don't have any. I don't know. I feel like I used to really love the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just like, there's so much terrible shit going on here.
Yeah, there's not much here that I feel
That I'm like, I
needs
don't
to
really
be celebrated.
want to celebrate America because it doesn't feel like.
Mom and I were talking about that the other day, and I was like, I don't want to celebrate America. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to celebrate the fact that I have the day off of work.
Yeah.
And that I'm hanging out with friends.
There you go.
That's what I'm celebrating.
I like that.
Not what the day is, because there's not much to be happy about right now.
No.
Yeah.
American can get its birthday back when it gets its shit together.
Yes, there we go. In probably 3 years, I'll celebrate big time. If
we're still here.
If we're still here. 4th of July.
Yeah.
Well, also, it's a 4-day work week, so that makes it a lot better, too.
I don't work.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't matter for you.
No.
For us who work during the summer, I'm very happy to have a 4-day work week.
Mm.
I had one last
Happy
week.
to have.
I'm
all
having
the
one
days
the
off.
week after that. I have a lot of 4-day work weeks coming up, but this is the only one that like I can use time that they give me.
I personally feel like 4-day work weeks
would make everyone happier.
Slower.
Oh, would make what?
It makes it go by slower.
It does. It's the shorter weeks make it feel so much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, okay, so is it a 4-day week because you have Friday off or a 4-day week because you have Monday off?
I have Friday off.
So I wonder if that makes a difference. Because typically
Yeah.
when it's a 4-day week, it's because you have Monday off.
Yeah, that's true. I think I like having Friday. I used to like having Monday off, but for
But
the
then it's
work
just like
week.
Tuesday feels like Monday.
Yeah. But then by the time that it would feel like Thursday, it's actually Friday.
Right, exactly, which I feel like that would actually make it feel like it was a faster week if it was Friday that we had off.
I'm going to have to test it. I'm just going to need more days off
Of
to test
course.
this
I
theory.
mean, scientifically speaking,
Right.
we have to know, is it Friday that makes a 4-day week feel like a short week, or is it
All right.
Monday? I think Friday. That's my vote.
Is what makes it feel like a short week.
It would make a 4-day week feel short versus having a 4-day week with Monday off would make it feel longer.
Okay. All right. I'll test it. I'll let you know. I'll report back because, we're going to record on Thursday. So
Right.
I'll give my findings.
Yes. What's the third?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Day before the
See?
4th. Or we can talk about me coming to you right after work. We'll talk about it because we're going to have someone over that time. So we'll chat.
Music to my ears.
But something else we'll chat about is we listen to podcasts all the time.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And
Could you imagine 2 podcast hosts who hated podcasts?
that would actually not make any sense at all.
No.
But so sometimes, as you guys have heard, we'll put little promos in for other podcasts that we listen to. So one of those is Morgrats. So Morgrats is a podcast hosted by 2 sisters who grew up in a funeral home. So naturally, they are obsessed with death. And that's what they talk about, whether it comes by crime, disease, or disaster.
Dominique and Heidi also share a funeral home story in each episode based on their experiences. Morgrats is a fun waste of time, and beware, not for the easily offended. So check them out.
Yeah, we've listened to a couple of their episodes. They're really fun.
Yeah. It's kind of like 2 friends.
And I mean, if you like this podcast, obviously you're going to be into that podcast as well.
100%. And I'm like, that's just a crazy background.
I know.
So tell me about yourself. Oh, grew up in a morgue,
Yeah.
funeral home.
MBD.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so you're going to take over the conversation for now.
Yeah.
And tell me
Everything.
Tell me all of it. Oh my God, so I wonder if they heard our Buried Alive episode.
Oh my God.
I wonder what their thoughts are about it.
All right, listen to the things you guys got wrong, but here are the things you guys got right.
That's so funny. I wonder if that was a concern of theirs, or maybe not because they grew up.
So they didn't have the same fear that we have.
Yeah.
All right, so shall we also jump into 4th of July?
Yeah, so disclaimer, you can't really do dark history on the 4th of July because it's just like American history.
Right, and we were already covering that.
Right. So I decided to go with the dumb route.
Oh,
and
love it.
Stupid things people can do
Love it.
on the 4th of July. So take it away.
While there isn't a definitive list of dumb crimes that happen specifically on the 4th of July, the holiday is often associated with an increase in certain types of criminal activity that could be considered reckless or ill-advised due to the circumstances. So here are some examples of activities that are more likely to occur on the 4th of July that can lead to legal issues. Illegal firework use. So the definition, thank you, Mackenzie.
Its definition, why it's dumb in context.
Beautiful. All right. So setting off fireworks in areas where they are prohibited or using illegal fireworks that are powerful and dangerous. So why it's dumb, kind of self-explanatory. This puts yourself and others at risk of serious injury and can result in fines and legal penalties or death.
I'll have a dun dun dun.
In some contexts, some places have very strict firework laws due to fire safety concerns.
Another common crime is driving under the influence or boating while intoxicated, which is known as a BWI, not to be confused with Baltimore Washington International Airport.
Oh.
So its definition is operating a motor vehicle or a boat after consuming alcohol. Why it's dumb, again, self-explanatory.
Mhm.
It is incredibly dangerous and can lead to severe accidents, injuries, or fatalities. That means death. There are also significant legal consequences, including fines, license suspension, and jail time. And for context, the 4th of July is a high-risk time for impaired driving, and law enforcement agencies increase patrols.
Then there's disorderly conduct, which is engaging in behavior that disrupts public peace or safety, often fueled by excessive alcohol consumption. See number 2. It can lead to arrest and charges, according to Moses and Roth criminal defense
I
lawyers.
think that's Ruth.
Ruth?
Like tooth.
Or Booth. Moses and Ruth, criminal defense lawyers. Large gatherings and parties on the holidays can sometimes get out of hand, leading to disorderly conduct.
And that also brings us to public intoxication. which is being visibly drunk in a public space. Why it's dumb? It can lead to an arrest. Context. Increased drinking on the 4th of July can lead to people making poor decisions about their level of intoxication in public spaces.
Minors in possession of alcohol. So this is underage individuals possessing or consuming alcohol. Why it's dumb, it's
Again.
illegal, and can lead to fines, legal penalties, and impact future opportunities. The following are a list of dumb criminals and their crimes from July of 2022, reported by Q107.3 FM.
So it's not specifically on July 4th, but it's really fucking close.
It's like the July 4th holiday.
Exactly. So the headline is Florida police officer charged with DUI in patrol car.
Oh, no.
Oscar Mayagora was pulled over by Eustis, Florida police officers after they saw him driving recklessly. When they pulled him over, he had an open beer can in the cup holder and almost fell several times after getting out of the car for a field sobriety test. The problem is that Mayagora is a police officer in Apopka, Florida, and was in his patrol car on his way to work at the time.
Gosh.
He's arrested on a DUI charge and has been placed on paid administrative leave.
Naturally.
Probably didn't get fired.
No, of course not. Okay, this one happened on Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. So Mackenzie's, that one was on Wednesday, July 6th, 2022.
Oh, yeah.
This one was just the day before.
Yeah.
Man arrested on felony charge after throwing hot dog at police officer. In a 4th of July holiday weekend incident, Florida police officers say they warned Jason Stoll that he was violating a city ordinance by selling hot dogs by the road around midnight after his street closure permit ended. He was asked to, quote, put the hot dog down, but instead threw it at the officer while extremely upset. Stoll was charged with battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting an officer without violence. If convicted, he could face a minimum of 3 years in jail.
insane.
Sir, why are you here? I threw a hot dog at a cop.
If the judge doesn't laugh them out of court, oh my God, I would bust out laughing if I was that judge.
Oh,
I'd be like, are
God.
you fucking serious?
Like, are you an idiot?
You're taking taxpayer dollars
Oh, my
because you got
God.
hit with a hot dog, bro. So our last one happened on actual July 4th in 2022. Headline: Drunk driver wrecks and heads straight to dealership to try to sell damaged car. Police responded to a call of an impaired driver in Evansville, Indiana, and found 30-year-old Jordan Mattingly, who had allegedly hit the median of the Lloyd Expressway, causing a flat tire on his vehicle. He reportedly did not stop driving. When police arrived at the car dealership he had driven to, they found him trying to sell his smoking vehicle with 3.5 times the legal blood alcohol limit, testing 0.291 on a breath test.
Oh, my God.
Inside the SUV, police say they found four Loco cans and a can of White Claw. Mattingly is the son of former professional baseball player Don Mattingly. Must be so proud.
Oh, my God. So proud.
So, yeah, if you are going to be one to celebrate, don't do stupid shit.
Just do it safely. It's a Friday. You don't have to go to work that day. You don't have to go to work Saturday, most likely.
Yeah.
Just chill.
And if you do, while that sucks, it's even more of a reason to be responsible.
Yeah.
You probably need the job. Because this economy is crazy.
In this economy, we're not throwing hot dogs at cops. We're
we
not
can't afford to.
drinking four Locos.
Bruh.
Ugh. God, that just makes me feel gross. I
Yeah.
already feel gross, but even more gross.
Yeah. And that was but that's without the energy drink in it. If this
That
was
is
like
true.
if this was like 2002 and he had 4 in
Oh
there,
my
I'd be like, he
God.
wouldn't have crashed the car. He would have been so like hyped up on the energy drink.
And then he would have died.
So
Oh, God.
July 4th, man. What spooky tea you pouring, Lauren?
All right, so
I wasn't taking a big breath. I didn't want to do it in the microphone.
I thought you were about to burp. Okay, so what I'm covering today is still unsolved.
Ooh.
So unfortunately, we won't have any conclusions with this one. And it's going to be a bit shorter because of how recent it is.
Oh.
It happened like last 4th of July.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's not much information right now. Everything that I found was from the summer of 2024. There have been no updates or anything since then.
Okay.
There hasn't been a single thing posted in 2025 about it
Okay.
as of yesterday. And we have one main person of interest, but nothing has been confirmed yet.
Okay.
So city of Birmingham, we're in Alabama again.
Okay.
I know we just did Alabama, but still.
That's okay.
So the city of Birmingham said it well. They said, quote, "The information is based on a preliminary and ongoing investigation, which continues to evolve as investigators interview witnesses, review physical and electronic records, and analyze forensic evidence. The department's understanding of the facts and circumstances may change as additional evidence is collected and analyzed."
Okay.
So again, I apologize for it being like kind of on the shorter side, but again, there's only so much information we
That's
have on
okay.
it. So it was July 4th, 2024, and Deundray Cottrell, 31, was at a 4th of July celebration with his loved ones at a family member's residence in Birmingham, Alabama. Deundray had traveled from Atlanta with his partner Julian Morris so that they could celebrate the holiday at Deundray's sister's house. So who were these two men? Deundray Dominique Cottrell was 31. He was pretty well known around the Atlanta area. He was the CEO of Ski Boys Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of that?
No, but a CEO sounds really important.
Oh, yeah. So they're an Atlanta-based dance trio.
Oh, that's
He
cool.
performed often at queer bars and community events and had built a huge social media following of tens of thousands.
Wow, that's awesome.
Ski Boys Entertainment was described on the Instagram account as Atlanta's hottest male performance trio and event host.
Okay.
And I have a picture that I added. I don't know if it's going to be something that you're going to put on our social media for it, but like these three men look good. I know they're all gay, but still, they look good.
They look the best.
So Deundray also did freelance marketing, consulting for social media accounts, bartending, massage therapy, and worked in photography. At the time, he was actively pursuing a doctorate in public administration and marketing after having received
Wow.
his master's degree in public administration while also working in marketing.
Go off, King.
He was in a 14-year polyamorous relationship with fellow Ski Boys dancer De'Eric Garnell, though some sources said his name was De'Eric Williams, but
Okay.
I saw Garnell more, so that's what we're going to go with.
Okay.
Then in 2021, he met Julian Morris. From my understanding, the three, Garnell, Deundray, and Morris, were all in a polyamorous relationship together.
Okay.
So Garnell said that
That can get
Deundray...
tricky.
What?
That can get tricky.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Garnell said that Deundray was his person, and their bond flourished even more when they moved to Atlanta to start their dance on enterprise together. Julian Taylor Morris was also 31. He too was part of Ski Boys Entertainment alongside Cottrell and Garnell. He also allegedly served in the Marines.
Okay.
So Deundray...
Allegedly?
Yeah, I guess he did, but their word allegedly was before it, so I just went with allegedly.
Okay.
So back to the party. So
Mhm.
Deundray and Morris had arrived to Angelica Harris, Deundray's sister's house in Birmingham at around 6 p.m. on July 4th. But when only Deundray and Morris arrived, Harris thought that it was odd that only those two were visiting without De'Eric Garnell. The three were in a polyamorous relationship, like I said. So Deundray would visit by himself, or the three of them would make the trip, but it was
Okay.
never just him and Morris alone. So
Okay.
Harris just assumed that the trio possibly had a disagreement, or maybe that De'Eric's schedule just wouldn't allow for the trip.
Okay.
At
And
about...
is he the newest one to join?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it's always been Deundray and Garnell.
Okay.
They were the 14-year relationship.
Yeah.
Morris came in 3 years ago.
And Morris is with him,
Mhm.
not
Garnell.
got it.
Correct.
Okay.
At about 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., the sources vary, Deundray walked upstairs to check on the family dog because of the fireworks and was never seen again.
What?
When he didn't come back downstairs, the family began looking around for him, not too worried at first. But when they searched the house and couldn't find him, that's when they started to worry. Morris, having been the last one to see Deundray, obviously was asked about where he was. Morris told the family that Cottrell had jumped out of the window of Harris's home and, quote, took off running through the backyard.
What?
Harris checked all of the windows to find that they had all been sealed shut, so she asked Morris if he could explain again where her brother was. At this point, Morris said that Deundray actually jumped off the patio, not out the window, and then disappeared. Quote, I was trying to tell him that I loved him and he jumped, Morris told Harris. The family immediately set out to search for Deundray. Birmingham police got involved around 11 p.m. by dispatching patrol officers. They also contacted their special victims unit. And at this point, a missing persons investigation officially began. His one shoe and cell phone were found in the backyard, and video surveillance footage showed him running through yards and jumping fences, quote, looking for refuge. It appeared to the family as if Deundray was running for his life. Another surveillance video showed Deundray walking through a neighborhood backyard in a downpour.
Okay, I'm going to need us to pause for 2.5 seconds.
Yep, ask whatever questions you need.
Okay. So they're all at his sister's house,
Correct.
and he goes inside his sister's house
Inside of the house to check
on the dog. Do we know approximately how long he was gone for before they're like, hey, where is he?
No, they didn't really
Okay.
talk about that part. They just, like, I guess, kept expecting him to come back outside, and he didn't.
So that was going to be my next question. Are they outside
I believe so.
in like a backyard?
That's how I pictured it, but I could be wrong. They didn't, nothing went into how the setup was. But I assume they would have been outside because they were watching fireworks.
Yeah. It's just because I'm thinking like, okay, if he's saying, oh, he jumped off the patio,
Right.
if they're all in the backyard and it's like,
Maybe they're in the front yard
right.
because it was like neighborhood kids were shooting off fireworks.
okay, yeah. So maybe they're in the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, none of that was focused on.
Okay.
Just because in the situations, why would that be focused on?
Context clues, that's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm just trying to think of like where he would have had to run out so that his family didn't see him.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would make sense if they're in the front yard.
He ran out the
jumping
back.
out the window into the backyard.
Yeah. And then clearly from these videos, it looks like he's running from something.
Through backyards, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But
so he did actually run away.
They do see video of him running.
Okay.
And they follow different neighbors, like, so they saw in their camera which direction he ran.
Yeah.
So they followed the neighbors' houses and saw in their videos him running.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. We're good.
So the next day, Garnell came down to Alabama to join in on the search for Deundray. His family and Garnell searched and searched, but weren't able to find him.
I'm assuming, maybe you come back to this later, but I'm assuming, so he comes, was it ever explained why he wasn't there in the first place?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't. That's a good point. It was never explained.
I wonder if we'll get to that.
We won't.
At some point. Well, no, not. I know we're very limited in our information.
Oh, you mean hopefully in the future?
Right. Like,
yeah.
If that's explored, like why he wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, I don't know. It never said anything, but it seemed like I don't feel like there was an issue with them because all the times that Garnell would speak about it, he was very close with Deundray.
Yeah.
You know, so it never made it seem like there was a reason why he wouldn't have come. Maybe it was just a schedule thing.
Okay.
I don't know. But then again, if someone goes missing, whatever schedule you had no longer matters.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
The Birmingham police were also helping to search. At this point, Morris had already left. So
he left?
Uh-huh.
It's just like, okay, yeah, he's missing. Bye.
I'll get to it. I will get to that part. On July 6th, Garnell requested search and rescue dogs to help find Deundray, and they did find him. His body was found in an abandoned shed just before 3 p.m., about a block from the family's home.
Oh.
The shed was in the backyard of an abandoned home. Immediately, authorities described his death as, quote, suspicious, and where his body was found implies post-mortem concealment.
And they did not see anyone running after him in those videos. They
Nope.
just saw him running.
Correct. He was the only one seen in the videos.
Interesting. Okay.
This is when the Jefferson County Medical Examiner's Office ruled Deundray's death as a homicide. Cause of death appeared to be asphyxiation by strangulation or suffocation, not gunfire. And I will get to the gunfire thing later because it's a big issue in Birmingham.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, it doesn't help that it's 4th of July.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, is it fireworks? Is it gunshots?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Immediately, a person of interest was named in the case, Julian Taylor Morris.
Yeah.
The last person to be with Deundray that night at the family gathering was his romantic and business partner, Julian Morris.
I might be getting too into the nitty-gritty details that we just don't have. But, like, did he come back out to the party and was hanging out?
I'll explain.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
I do get to that.
Okay.
So Morris was also part of the Atlanta dance trio Skill Boys Entertainment.
Yeah.
Family members who were at the party that night described Morris's behavior as odd. Like when the family immediately went to start looking for Deundray, Morris remained behind to finish eating, while the rest of the family went out to desperately look for Deundray. They also recall Morris acting erratically that night and not like they've known him to act in the past 3 years. Angelica said that after Deundray went missing, Morris was way too chill. He was acting out of it. As everyone was searching, Morris was eating. He had no sense of urgency.
Interesting.
Angelica Cottrell, Deundray's sister, said that she remembers Morris telling her that Morris had put her brother in a house. Angelica said, quote, I was like, hey, he's in a house. He's in a house. Dude just told me, calm, cool, and collected, that he's in a house. We got to go look in houses. So as they're not sure where he is and they're looking for him, Morris is saying, oh, I put him in a house. So that's when Angelica was like, okay, we need to start looking in houses.
Because he was found in a shed.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yes. So I believe it was after all the odd behavior, Angelica had then asked Julian to leave their house the night that he went missing, but she offered him to stay at their mom's house just up the road.
Okay.
So she's like, I don't want you here, but there is a place for you to stay because this isn't where they live. They're from Atlanta, they're in Alabama.
Right.
Angelica said that just a few hours later, Julian woke them up and tried to get back into Angelica and her family's home. She said they called the police and put him on a trespass notice. She also said that before the body was found, Julian was nonstop calling Deundray's phone. All day, nonstop. He called, sent text messages, sent music through the text messages. Quote, just the craziest of things, Angelica said.
But he knew that he didn't have his phone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because, like, was his phone blowing up and his sister had his phone. Because
So
wasn't it a shoe?
it was a shoe in his phone and a pair of sunglasses
That were left
that
behind.
were found in the yard either that night or the next morning. I read both in different articles.
Okay.
So when they're searching for him, these are the things they find before they find his body.
So I'm wondering then if she has his phone
It seems like she probably had to have.
and he's, like,
because-
blowing it up,
Yeah,
but he would have known that he doesn't have his phone.
you would think.
So why is he blowing it up?
Right,
Okay.
right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Deundray's family said that in the video surveillance, he was running alone, making them doubt that his disappearance was voluntary. But after the body was found, his brother said that Deundray's body appeared, quote, almost untouched externally, reinforcing suspicion of foul play.
Wait,
I don't know.
wouldn't that make it not suspicious of foul play if he doesn't look like he'd been touched?
I guess maybe it makes it seem like maybe there wasn't like a fight or anything beforehand, because it was found that he had died of asphyxiation.
Okay.
So if you're looking at him, I guess you couldn't tell those things because it's the medical examiner who determined that.
Right. I mean, I can't think of ways you can suffocate yourself. Unless,
There's not many.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Interesting. Keep going.
Yeah. So, yeah, if some of this doesn't make sense, it's just,
Yeah.
just kind of
It's-
given the
it's-
facts as we have them.
It's new. I get it.
The Birmingham Police Department did label his death as a homicide. They did also label Morris as a person of interest in the case. His family has not had any contact with Morris since Deundray's death. So at this point, police are still waiting for Morris to come in for questioning. Victor Reville, Morris's attorney, released a statement in connection with the case, saying that Morris is, quote, grieving and denies any wrongdoing. The statement said that, quote, Mr. Morris wants answers as well and is awaiting those answers after a full and thorough investigation has been completed. Under the advice of counsel, he will not be giving any further statements at this time. So I watched an interview,
Mm-hmm.
a very short, it was like, the clips are like 5-minute clips,
Yeah.
of the attorney talking to the press.
Okay.
Mr. Mann is already sweating
Yeah.
when he's talking.
It is Alabama in July.
True. But just, he would be asked a question, but then he would sidetrack the question completely.
Well, that's the lawyer for you.
And it's just I don't have all of this legal jargon. He didn't use much of it, but it's like, dude, you're not painting yourself in a good picture right now. Because it would be like, oh, Morris is a person of interest. He's like, yeah, Morris is a person of interest because he's not a person of interest. And it's like, what? Your answers aren't making sense.
It's probably on purpose.
Probably, but I'm like, dude, you're not giving anyone a benefit here.
Yeah.
So the Birmingham Police Department continued to comb through surveillance, interview witnesses, review electronic evidence, and analyze forensics at the crime scene. Still to no avail. A vigil for Deundray was held on July 18th to celebrate his vibrant spirit. His sister described him as being larger than life with unmatched fashion and warmth. He was also described as creative and cautious, organized in particular. Morris said, quote, he was everything to us. The fact that he's been minimized to just another tragedy, it hurts and it hurts for my mom. He was somebody's brother. He was somebody's son. He was the golden lighting in the sky for so many people. He was the best thing to a lot of people. Quote, I just want to let the world know that Deundray had nothing but love in his heart, D. Eric Garnell said. I just hope that his justice is served and that the world knows exactly what happened to such a good person. Morris is now being pursued by authorities for questioning, but as of now, again, kind of all the information we had, no arrests or charges have been made. He had spoken to the police before the body had been found, but not since.
Okay.
Both the full cause of death and current whereabouts of Morris all remain unclear. Police wrote in a press release on July 8th, 2004, that they need assistance locating Deundray's romantic partner who may have at least heard or seen from Deundray the evening of his disappearance.
Wait, so they can't find him?
Not right, at least in 2024, no.
How to get a lawyer then?
Well, the lawyer knows where he is, but the police are having a hard time getting in touch with him.
Oh, I mean,
so they've been able to talk to his lawyer, but they're not talking to him.
Right, because the lawyer said he's not going to talk to them.
Yep, until a full investigation has been done. And it's like,
But the full
he's part of the investigation. What do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean you're not going to talk until it's done? He's a key part of this.
Yeah, that's... I wonder, too, if, the family noticed if he was, gone for a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
Any of that stuff.
I don't know. So police are asking anyone with information on the case or Morris's whereabouts to contact the homicide unit at 205-254-1764 or Crime Stoppers at 205-254-7777. Also, all of these will be included in our show notes as always. Morris is described as a 5'6", 160-pound black male. As of August 2024, a $5,000 reward was being offered for information that leads to an arrest and indictment in the case.
Oh, wow.
And again, like I said, I looked and there are no recent articles, so none in 2025. I think the latest was like August of 2024.
Okay.
So we have nothing new.
Well, I'm sure, like, not being able to speak to him has really put up a bunch of roadblocks.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine. I mean, they've gone as far as they can at this point.
Yeah. Like, they'd probably have
Without
to...
Morris's help, there's nowhere further they can go.
So, I don't know if you know the answer to this. Let's say, like, obviously, I understand his attorney can't... Attorney-client privilege, he's not going to tell police where he is.
Right.
But what if let's say, for example, I knew where he was.
Mm-hmm.
Could I then go and say, hey, he's at this place, and the police could go...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why they're urging, if you know where he is,
Yeah.
call these numbers, let them know.
Okay.
So I thought this was an interesting thing that was mentioned a couple times in different articles.
Mm-hmm.
So his death on July 6th marked the 136th death in Birmingham just that year.
Oh, my God.
So from January to July, 136. Deundray was one of 8 people not killed by gunfire in the city that year.
Oh, my God.
So
that's why it was, like, pointed out.
128 of them were gunshot victims.
Yeah.
And he is one of 8 that weren't killed by gunfire in Birmingham. So yeah, that's why they made it a specific thing to be like, it was asphyxiation, not a gunshot.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, a gunshot, obviously that's still a murder.
Right.
But it's a different kind of murder when it's asphyxiation. That's like a very close type of murder.
Yeah.
So I know it's not very long.
I feel like there's got to have, like, so many because I can just imagine so many conversations that have probably already happened. Like,
yeah,
you're going to obviously talk to the other partner. What was the dynamic? What were things like? Why wasn't he there? You know, why did the two of them go and he couldn't go? Was there something, did something seem difficult between them or whatever?
And maybe all of those conversations have happened and have been recorded. They just haven't been released.
Right. No,
because
absolutely.
Ongoing investigation.
100%. And so that's like, I'm thinking like, oh, figure out like the timeline of the party.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they noticed he had disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
If they noticed that Morris had disappeared, how long?
Right.
All that kind of good stuff.
Like, oh, you see him go up at 9 or 10. When was it that you realized, oh, he's gone?
Yeah.
Was it 30 minutes? Was it an hour? Like, I mean, if Roy's freaking out for fireworks, I'm probably going to come up and lay with him for a bit.
Right.
Like, I'm not just going to check and walk away.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, so many questions, so many unanswered things. It's just, yeah.
And, like, you're distracted by a party, too. So it's going to be hard to tell, like, how long someone may or may not have been gone because... even if he said, like, hey, I'm going to go check on the dog, you're like, all right, cool. And then, like, you turn back to what you're doing.
Right. And then, like, if he goes to check on the dog, like, if he had come back down, he's not going to go and be like, I'm done checking on the dog, by the way.
Right.
Like, he's just maybe going to go grab some food, go sit down. Like
I could easily see it being, like, he goes to check on the dog, and it isn't until the fireworks are over and everyone's, like, recollecting themselves that they're like, oh, wait a minute, where is he?
Right. He never came back down kind of thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hopefully...
yeah.
we get something because, it's been obviously on July 4th. It'll be a year.
Yeah.
So.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's very sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad. And he was such a good looking guy, too. His fashion sense.
Chef's kiss.
Yes. Seriously.
Do I have a... oh, no, that was the TV. Make sure you take that part out.
There we go.
It's a kissing sound.
But yeah, so that's the case of Deundray Cottrell, or Cottrell. If you have any information, please call one of those numbers and just hopefully we can get this figured out.
So many questions.
Yeah, seriously.
So many questions.
All right, Mackenzie, what 4th of July tale do you have?
I'm really hoping I just don't fall asleep during reading my own story.
See, that's why I swear I need a water gun.
I'm so tired.
To just whenever I'm so tired. How are you going to make it through the play you have to see tonight?
I have no idea.
Just going to have to chug a Red Bull.
I'm hoping that, like, the excitement and vibes alone, like, help me.
I'm here for the vibes.
And hope to God I don't fall asleep.
Because you're also not going to have anyone, like, sitting next to you to poke you awake.
I think I'm not one of those people that can easily fall asleep in public.
Nah, yeah.
So I think the excitement of it, I'll wake back up, and then as soon as we leave, I'll be like, I'm going to bed.
The moment you hear the first note, you're going to be like, yes, I'm awake.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I am really excited.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear how it is.
I also just took my medication, so I'm really hoping that also perks me up a little bit.
We also haven't said it. You're seeing Les Mis. We just keep talking about the fact that you're seeing something.
Yes, I'm seeing Les Mis at the Kennedy Center, and I'm very excited.
Ugh, have fun.
Thank you.
All right, on to the sad things.
So it was hard to come up with an intro for this story because I didn't want to say anything that might give something away. So we're just going to dive right into it.
All right.
The Haldersons were living their best lives up until July of 2021. So also recent-ish,
Very
but
recent,
mine
yeah.
has a resolution. Bart and Krista Halderson were in their early 50s and lived in a nice home in Windsor, Wisconsin. They had 2 grown sons, Mitchell, 24, and Chandler, 22, whom they adored. Mitchell was engaged and worked in tech at Epic Systems, and Chandler was living at home interning with American Family Insurance as an IT administrator.
Wow.
Chandler had already graduated with a degree in sustainability management and was enrolled at Madison Community College to get an IT degree. The family was very proud of their son Chandler because he was recently offered a job with SpaceX and
Oh,
had plans to move down to Florida with his girlfriend, Catherine Kat Melander. The two had been dating for the last couple of years, and Kat got along great with Chandler's parents. They were welcoming and loving, and Kat enjoyed spending time with them at their home. Krista worked as a customer service representative for an auto body shop and loved art projects. Bart was a managing director for an international accounting firm and enjoyed woodworking. On the morning of July 2nd, Krista didn't show up at the office and had not scheduled time off. A coworker and close friend to Krista, Daniel Coringer, immediately became concerned. He later told CBS News, which I think it might have been 48 or Dateline or something like that, but I found these interviews on CBS.
okay.
Which is 48 out. It's the first 48 or whatever that is.
No idea.
Okay. Well, I said CBS News, but it might not be specifically
Right.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So he said, quote, "When she hadn't said anything to me, I was like, well, that's kind of weird. You know, it wasn't something that she would ever do." Croninger said he had texted and called her several times, but did not get a response. Later in the afternoon, he and his girlfriend decided to go over to the Haldersons' house to make sure that everything was okay. No one answered the door, and both of the Haldersons' cars were still parked in the garage. Before they were able to check around the back of the house, Chandler came out of the side door in a towel, saying he had just showered. Croninger told him he was looking for Krista and wanted to make sure everything was okay. Chandler reassured them that they were fine and had to go up to their cabin for an emergency. Chandler told him that they don't have good service up there, so they wouldn't get any messages until they had service again. Croninger says he was relieved to know that Bart and Krista were at the family cabin, and over the holiday weekend, he kept in touch with Chandler to see if he had heard from his mom or dad. The Haldersons had a cabin in northern Wisconsin that had been in the family since the 1940s. It was a few hours' drive from Windsor in an area called White Lake. Bart and Krista had told their son that they were going with another couple who were going to drive them all up there. They had planned to stay there for the 4th of July weekend.
So it makes sense why the 2 cars are in the garage.
Supposedly, when a storm had rolled through the White Lake area, it had damaged some windows on the property. Chandler had claimed that his parents had left early that morning when the couple they were traveling with picked them up, but he was asleep when this happened.
Okay.
Chandler did not know who the couple was that his parents were with, didn't know their names, didn't know anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
Chandler spent the holiday weekend with his girlfriend, Kat, and grew a little concerned when he hadn't heard from his parents by Sunday, which was the actual July 4th holiday.
Okay.
Chandler was relieved when he got a text from his mom later that evening saying that they had arrived safely in White Lake, but because it was packed with people for the holiday, the service was terrible. She told Chandler that they were going to stick around for the parade and would be back Monday night or Tuesday morning. Monday passed with no word from either parent, and Tuesday was no different.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday was also when Chandler started to hear from his mother's work that she had not shown up for the last couple of days, and they were concerned/wondering where she was. It was Krista's coworker, Daniel Croninger. I know I've said his name 3 different times now. I'm so sorry. Who pushed Chandler to file a missing persons report the next morning on Wednesday, July 7th.
Okay.
Dane County Sheriff's detectives Sabrina Sims and Brian Shunk, not Skunk,
Shung.
were assigned to investigate the disappearance of the Haldersons. The detectives went to the Halderson house to gather evidence and to talk to Chandler about the last time he saw his parents. They walked with him around the house as he pointed things out that were missing that his parents had taken when they traveled to the cabin. Deputies began interviewing neighbors, friends, and coworkers of the couple. Bart and Krista had not mentioned to coworkers or their older son Mitchell that they'd been planning to go to the cabin that weekend. But according to Chandler, another couple whom he didn't know picked up his parents and drove them there. The cabin was a remote, rustic, lakeside retreat, and naturally, people started to assume the worst. Barbie Townsend is Krista's cousin who lives in Southern California.
Wait, what was the worst that they started to assume?
I'm going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
She told CBS News, quote, "You start to think crazy things because our cabin's up in the woods, and we were so worried, we were so worried. Are they being held hostage somewhere? Are they tied up somewhere? Why would they not call? Why wouldn't there be a text or something? Your mind starts to go down murky trails because you're trying to figure out what's going on."
Okay. Thank you.
The day after Chandler reported them missing, his brother Mitchell and his fiancee drove 3 hours north to see if he could find any sign of his parents at the cabin.
Okay.
So his brother goes to the cabin.
Okay.
Investigators, anxious to find out what had happened to Bart and Krista Halderson, asked deputies from the Langlade County Sheriff's Office to help Mitchell, which is where the cabin was located, who brought along his fiancee to search the cabin. When they got inside, it was dark. There were no signs of Krista or Bart. They also checked his shed. A canoe was in there. But it was very obvious that no one had been in that cabin for a very long time.
Okay.
I think I read one report, too, that even said that there was, rotting food in the fridge.
Oh.
So, no one had been there for
Right.
weeks on end.
Yeah.
When Mitchell was with the police searching the family's cabin, Chandler was on his own hunt throughout the neighborhood. He is seen on video doorbell cameras going door to door asking homeowners if they have seen or heard from his parents. Detectives also interviewed Chandler's girlfriend, who had confirmed that she had been with Chandler all weekend. The detectives also asked her if she thought Chandler might have anything to do with his parents' disappearance. Kat replied, quote, "No, no, that'd be crazy. But I just don't see him killing Mr. and Mrs. Halderson. He had SpaceX. Why would he jeopardize something he, would dream of, they're his parents. For Christmas, they got him and his brother matching tool sets. Come on. He cooks dinner for them. They have root beer floats together. They play Mario Kart whenever his parents want to." Meanwhile, Detective Sims and Shunk got a break in the case when they received information from the owner of a farm outside of town.
Outside of their town or outside of the town where the cabin is?
Their town.
Okay.
Yeah. Good clarification.
Thank you.
The owner of the farm turned out to be a family member of Kat's.
The girlfriend?
Which is Chandler's girlfriend. I don't know if it was a friend. One person said friend.
Friend?
No.
Okay.
One person said it was her mom's boyfriend.
Okay.
I don't know. But she is closely associated with the person that owns that farm.
Yep.
And the couple did spend time over the holiday weekend at that farm.
Okay.
The owner told investigators that it surprised her to see Chandler again on Monday, but this time he was alone.
Okay.
So I did find one report saying that Chandler had asked to use their pool, but not every article really gave a reason for why he was there. So I'm not 100%.
Wait, whose pool?
For the farm.
Oh, okay.
So there was only one article that was yeah, he came because he said he wanted to use the pool, but
That's so weird.
all the other ones just said that this person witnessed him on this property.
Okay.
So I'm not really 100% sure of the reason or the reason that he gave for being there. However, there are two important things that happened from this report. Number one, the owner of the farm reported that she saw Chandler coming out from the wood line of the forest. And two, his car had been parked and backed up to the field.
Okay.
So he was doing weird shit.
Yeah.
Detective Sims decided to bring Chandler back into the station to ask him why he hadn't told them about going back to the farm by himself. While detectives questioned Chandler, deputies were out searching the farm and made a discovery that changed everything. They discovered human remains.
Oh.
The remains of an adult male had been found on a farm 20 miles from Bart and Krista Halderson's home. Detective Sims later told CBS News, quote, "The grass had been matted down, and they followed it to a trail which led to the discovery of a male torso that was concealed with sticks and twigs. Additionally, authorities found some cutting instruments that were hidden in an oil drum, some scissors, pruning shears, and a broken bow saw."
I can't see.
Bow and bow are spelled the same way, so don't even try. After this discovery, Chandler Halderson became their prime suspect.
Well.
While tests were being done to confirm the identity of the victim, detectives arrested Chandler for providing false information in regards to a missing person.
Ooh.
Preliminary autopsy results showed that Bart had been shot at least 2 times in the back. Authorities had not located Krista Halderson, and she was still considered a missing person. Oh, I forgot to actually put the sentence in there that the test did confirm that it was his dad.
Oh.
I missed
So
that
it's
part.
been confirmed.
So it's been confirmed that it's Bart.
Gotcha.
And preliminary autopsy results show that he'd been shot at least 2 times in the back.
Okay.
Have not found mom yet, so she is still considered a missing person.
Gotcha.
Okay, sorry. As police continued to investigate, they needed to understand what possible motive Chandler could have had for wanting his parents to disappear. The more they dug, the more they untangled the web of lies that Chandler had spun to his parents, his girlfriend, and his friends.
Uh-oh.
So remember how Chandler was enrolled at Madison College?
Yeah.
Well, Chandler had flunked out and didn't tell anybody.
Why are there so many stories of this?
I know, right? When his parents started to question him about his transcripts, he crafted a chain of emails that looked like they came from the college. He created people who worked for the college and showed his parents he was communicating with them via email.
If you put in this much effort in school,
I know, right?
you'd be good.
He had created a lie as to why he couldn't access his transcripts and tried to validate that lie by creating these fake emails. But his parents weren't buying it. Other lies also weren't adding up. Chandler had his job with American Family Insurance, but he could barely pay his parents for rent and many other expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, his dad had enough and decided to call the school pretending to be his son to get the transcripts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is part of the conversation that was recorded that Chandler's dad had with the school.
Okay.
So the Madison College official says, "I don't see that you were admitted into any program." And then his dad says, "You said there the IT is in there, right?" The official says, "No, those are just classes. You might have just taken those classes but not be in the program." Bart learned that not only had his son been lying about the IT degree, but there was no internship with the insurance company either. So it wasn't working.
Where does he go?
Well, I don't know.
Because I wonder that too when people say they're at school or say they have a job, but they don't actually have those jobs. Where are you going during the day?
You probably just go dig around.
What are you
I
doing?
don't know. Remember that big job with SpaceX?
Yeah.
Turns out just another elaborate lie.
Yeah.
So flunked out of college or dropped out or whatever, was not going,
Uh-huh.
didn't actually have a job.
But he had attended school.
He had.
Okay. He had taken
So
a couple
he'd already had a
classes.
degree.
Oh.
And he had attended this school. He had a degree from another university.
I see.
And so he was getting this degree in IT,
I gotcha.
supposedly doing this internship, I guess maybe a paid internship, with this insurance company.
Okay.
And he supposedly had gotten this offer from SpaceX.
Right.
Now, some of the stories will tell you he fell down the stairs, he had this terrible accident, and
that's the story I have heard.
then he lost the job. But
yeah.
when you look at all of the news articles about it, they do address that he had fallen down the stairs, but it wasn't, and he was given a neck brace, but he was fine.
Okay.
It was maybe a mild concussion.
Okay.
And so
because I remember hearing this story again. I don't remember all the stuff that happens.
Yeah.
But I do remember the stair part because I was thinking how tragic. He fell down the stairs.
Yes.
He broke his leg. I don't know why I thought he broke his leg.
Right. He lost this job.
And I'm like, oh my God, because of that, he lost his job and he didn't, he couldn't go to school anymore. And I was like, this is so tragic. Then you get to the end of the story and I realize it wasn't that tragic, but I remembered this tragic part. And I guess that's interesting that it's not really how that went.
The gist is it was all a lie.
Yeah.
He lied about everything.
Wow.
So he might have lied saying he didn't, he lost a job at SpaceX because he had this accident.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it wasn't that severe of an accident. He did fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
That did happen.
Yeah.
But it was a mild concussion.
Okay.
He was fine.
All right.
So, like I said, big picture, he lied about everything.
Gotcha.
That's
what we need to know.
Yeah, that's where everything falls apart. According to detectives, Bart was planning to meet at the college with his son on Thursday, July 1st. Around 2 p.m., Bart, who was working from home, sent his son this text, quote, "I'm ready whenever you are." That text is believed to be the last message that Bart sent.
Oh.
Investigators got a search warrant for the Halderson home. No weapon was found there, but a shell casing was discovered in the basement, and several areas inside the house tested positive for blood. On July 15th, 2021, Chandler Halderson was formally charged with his father's murder. Chandler had lawyered up and wasn't talking, so they still had no idea where his mother might be or whether or not she was even alive.
Jeez.
Detectives turned to Chandler's girlfriend for help. She had permitted them to download information from her phone. Kat Melender had convinced Chandler to let her track his movements using Snapchat.
After this, as she's working with the cops?
No.
Oh, just beforehand?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly, Chandler had lied to her before, seems like this guy's MO, and had cheated on her in the past.
So that's why she wanted to follow his location?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
See, I follow my friends' locations just to make sure they're not in a ditch.
Well, yeah, because we're friends. You're not worried about if I'm cheating on you.
You better not be.
I'm not? You know about my other friends. I thought we had an open relationship. No, so how I perceived it, he was cheating. She found out, and she's like, "I don't trust you. You need to share your location with me."
I get it.
100%. I do wonder why. Actually, I don't wonder, because this next part will kind of explain it.
I don't even know what you were wondering.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Detectives were most intrigued by messages posted early on the morning of July 1st, the day Chandler and his father were supposed to meet with Madison College officials.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime he could have come clean.
Really, there's
Anytime at
so
this
many
point. Yeah.
opportunities.
So
Parents would have been pissed, but like,
right.
I'm sure that you guys would have gotten through it.
So Chandler, whose online name was Chazzle Dazzle,
Oh no.
I know, messaged Kat at 7:30 a.m. So Chazzle Dazzle,
Yep.
I hardly slept. Kat, I'm sorry, B. Why? Chazzle Dazzle. I'm 100% saying his name. It's so fucking ridiculous. IDK, stuff hasn't really been going well for me lately. So I'm trying to plan for the next thing to fuck me over.
Ugh. One
Cat
of
B.
them.
Cat B. It's going to be okay. Chazzle Dazzle. Yeah, I just had a great future planned and it's falling apart because you're getting caught in your lies.
Yeah.
According to detectives, the tone of those messages worried Kat because she had no idea any of this was going on.
Well, yeah.
She believed he was going to school. Like, she believed all of it too. Like, he lied to
Wow.
her. So 2 days later, when Kat checked Snapchat and noticed her boyfriend's avatar, hubby, on her screen, indicating that he was nearly 25 miles from home, Kat saved the image to her phone. So she took a screenshot of it.
Good girl.
Right? The screenshot showed that Chandler was near the Wisconsin River at about 9 in the morning on July 3rd.
Okay.
Police began a massive search of the area and discovered 2 legs that had been cut into different sections. DNA tests confirmed that it was Krista Halderson.
Where'd they find those?
Near the river.
Oh.
Like, based on the location, they went to that location
Okay.
and searched.
Oh.
Yeah. And found parts of her.
Wow.
Yeah. It is believed that as Chandler and his father were getting ready to leave to meet with the officials at Madison College, Chandler shot his father in the back. So literally as they're going to walk out the door,
Ugh.
his dad's in front of him and
Mhm.
Chandler shoots him.
Wow.
Chandler texted his mom asking her to buy soda on her way home so he could buy some time to deal with his now dead father.
Oh my God.
But as soon as his mother came home, she was gunned down by her own son.
Oh my God.
Instead of owning up to the truth, he decided to kill his mother and father, dismember their bodies, burn parts of their bodies in the family fireplace. A forensic expert had testified that more than 200 bone fragments were discovered in the fireplace.
Wow.
And when he couldn't get rid of all the remains, he scattered them all over town in parks and forests. Chandler was found guilty of first-degree murder of his parents and sentenced to life in jail without the possibility of parole. Many believe that if Chandler had just been honest with his parents, they would have helped him and not turned their backs on him.
Yeah.
In conclusion, lies have a way of catching up with you, especially if those lies are to your parents. They find out everything.
They're not going to ask you a question that they don't know the answer to.
Correct.
Just like girlfriends and friends and sisters.
Right. Well, really, no, I guess that's not a good lesson to learn.
What was your lesson going to be?
Don't make your life so stupid.
Don't lie.
Don't lie.
Let's go with that moral.
Don't lie. And yes, the truth hurts. And you can hurt somebody by telling the truth.
But it's better than killing them.
Correct. The only time I will ever say it is okay not to tell someone information you have that might hurt their feelings or might make them upset is when they can go on and continue living their lives happy and
Without that
joyful
information.
without that information.
Correct.
If they can do that, you don't need to tell them.
Exactly.
If they can't,
yeah,
as much as it's going to suck,
yeah.
It's so much better than killing someone.
Yes.
So much better. There's that story from Canada about that woman who
Canada?
What?
Nothing going.
What?
I said Canada?
Oh. Her name's Jennifer. She faked this attack, this home invasion from her parents, and her dad actually ended up surviving.
Mm.
And so obviously he eventually could say what happened, but before all of that, because he was still not he was responsive, his heart was beating and stuff like that, but he wasn't conscious.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So it was discovered that she had she had supposedly graduated from pharmacological school. Not true. She supposedly had this job at this pharmacy. Also not true. Years of lying. And then again, somehow it was discovered by her parents or was about to be discovered or something like that. And so she got these guys to help her fake a home invasion and killed her parents.
It's why?
Yeah.
That's harder to deal with.
There's a documentary on Netflix called Where is Jennifer or something like that.
Oh, I've seen that pop up.
Yeah. So there's that one.
There's a lot that go like this where the kid
Yeah.
lies about something and then ends up killing their parents instead of just telling the truth.
Which is crazy.
I know.
Like, that's nuts,
Yeah.
you know? Especially, like, from the girlfriend's description of the family dynamic, they were obviously very close.
Mhm.
And, like, even, like, interviews with, you know, attorneys and detectives and whatnot, like, he had a happy childhood. It was a close family. They were all good to each other.
Wow.
This was truly a matter of he panicked.
Ugh.
And to think that now, would his parents be pissed? Sure.
Absolutely.
Might he get a bunch of privileges taken away and be on a really tight leash?
Probably.
100%. Would they have turned their backs and said, well, you're on your own, kid? Probably not.
Right.
You know, they probably would have helped. If they're taking the time to really dig into this,
Yes.
to set up an appointment to try to get their son to tell them the truth,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they would have just been like, okay, well, thank you for telling me the truth. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
So don't lie and don't kill your parents.
2 life lessons you can learn from a Scary State podcast.
Available wherever you get podcasts.
And if you like us enough to listen to us wherever you get your podcast, rate and review us.
As always.
Let us know when you've done that and we will send you stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do send them.
Like we said, it might take time, but you will get them. There is never a doubt of that.
It's a little bit, you know, this is a prime time to do just about anything because it's summer.
That's true.
When it's not summer, I tend to take a little bit longer to do things.
But it's summer, so now is the perfect time to rate and review us because you'll get those stickers quickly.
Yeah, because there's like one of those little like blue mailboxes like right down the street.
Oh,
So
perfect.
yeah.
So
Which
how
really is always there that I could probably just easily do.
No, it's only there during the summer.
Yeah, it's only there during the summer, which is why this is like a really prime time for you guys to rate and review us and send it to us so we can get rid of some of these fucking stickers.
Yeah. Have a safe Halloween.
Halloween.
Because I really want Halloween.
Girl.
Have a safe 4th of July.
And however you choose to celebrate.
Don't end up on our stupid criminals list.
Yeah, please don't.
And yeah, however you choose to celebrate this holiday.
Just enjoy your day off. I really gotta pee.
Stay scary.
Stay safe.